We are about to see where we can use and fit the CSS and JavaScript in our tool, right? So I'm taking an example of what we have in one of our projects. Let me open a transaction manager. No, before we start, do you have any questions?
No, Karthik, you can start.
Okay.
I mean, just one. I mean, regarding about the documentation, Karthik, do you have anything for us?
No, I didn't. I'm not done with that yet. I'll send you guys. Yeah.
Okay, Karthik. Yeah, carry on.
I'm opening the transaction manager and some code. Yeah. We know that there will be different kind of actions, right? So we came across a submit, modify, email action as well. So we heard like there is a print action, but we didn't try that, right? So let's try creating it. So print action is used to see whatever the like document we created through document engine or document designer. So let's quickly see like how to create a document, how to make the document come as a result, the whole flow quickly, so that we can relate to CSS and JavaScript. Yeah, let me open the administration page. I'm just opening the actions at main document level. I'm adding an action. I gave some random name. I'm selecting the type of action as print. So I'm done with the creating the action. The one more thing is, so when we are saying it's a print type of action, so we are expecting a document to be shown as a result. So that to happen, so if you observe, we have one tab here, XSL views. So click it. So here you have facility to select which document it should show you. So right now we have only one document. In past we created one document for send email, right? So that is what it's showing now. So by default it's showing the first one. So if not, we can like whatever we create at the documents, so it will show that. So to map it here, we need one document, right? Let's create one document. From the administration tab, I'm opening the document designer. You can see the first section, commerce and documents. In this, the document designer. And if you observe this action page, we created one action, display quotation, right? So here in the XSL views, the tab name itself is saying it's an XSL view. And we already discussed, we have some section called printer friendly XSLs. If you want to see any output or anything, so you need to map it through the printer friendly XSLs. Even when we created send email action, so to show some email template, what we did, we went to XSL views, printer friendly XSL views, and we created one view. For it, we mapped a document. So we know that there are two ways. We can write our own XSL snippet, or we can use the editor which we have through email designer or document designer. So we can create one document and we can map it. So this is the action page. What we need to create a print action. For that we need to map an XSL view. We are in the this one is the document designer page. We need to select our process. Yeah, this is our process. So we need to create a document. Okay, so let's create a sample doc. I'll just add some sample content. I'm adding a section. Section is nothing but a container to add something. So we need to anything for anything to exist. So we need to have something like a container to hold it. So section is the container, and let's add some text, which is nothing but an element. So I'll say it as I made it to align center. I'm giving some text color. Okay. I'm deploying my changes. You can see on the right side top the action strip right here. I'm deploying it. You can see right now it is not deployed. The status. Yeah, it's done. So for the use case, what I'm going to show the JavaScript is, so we need two print actions. Let me create one more. So two print actions in the sense again. So in that for the two actions we have XSL views tab. So we need to map two XSL views. One each for each action. So if we are mapping one each XSL view, we need two documents as well. So let's create one more document. Let's deploy this. So now we have two documents, but as we have documents, it's not enough because to map in the action, so we have to map through the XSL views. So we need to link our documents what we created in the printer friendly XSL views. So where we can find it is in the administration tab. Just open, navigate till your process, list of process. So for the process what we are working on, so click on the drop down. So here you will be having printer friendly XSL views. This is the same thing what we did for email template as well, email designer, email action. So let's create one XSL view. I'm selecting the output type as PDF. So here if you see the edit mode, we discussed, right? We can upload an XSL or we can use the editor. So by default it's editor, and from the drop down, so we can see the list of documents available what we created only for our process. So we have these three so far. I'm selecting it as quotation one. That means we are, whatever the document we created as quotation one, the document designer thing, we are mapping it to the XSL view. Let's update it. Let's quickly create one more XSL view for the second action. So we are done with creating the XSL views. So let's refresh this page. So we have the XSL views now. So let's map it. First one, I'm updating it. Yeah, we have our action. Let's quickly create one more action. What's the action then we gave? Display quotation. I'm selecting it as print type. So mapping the other XSL view. Okay, one more thing is we need to add them on the layout, right? Let's open one action. So let's navigate to the layout. So layout, you can observe, like we can from the process, or you can open main document, and from that you can open the layout, or in the element itself, like whatever the component we are working on, either attribute or action. So in this attribute or action tab itself, we can find a link. So I'm clicking on it. So let's add the actions. We can see by clicking this icon. So here you can see the two actions got added. I'm saving it. And once you open this action strip, you can organize your actions order, like which action you want first, which action you want last. You can manage that. So I'm done with saving. Let's deploy it. if you want, like you can ignore these quick links in the beginning stages, like once you want to get familiar with the navigation, so avoid these quick links and just open through the traditional way. Open the list of product families or list of process, or navigate to the everything like like the general procedure you follow, so that you'll get habituated of navigating easily. So I'm done with deploying. So let's refresh our transaction manager. Sorry, the transaction. Now we can see the actions you can see on the right side top corner. So these are the two quotations what we have. So let's perform those actions. I'm clicking display quotation 1. Yeah, we can see this is the document 1 what we added. I'm closing it and performing the second action. We can see quotation 2. This is going to be like a PDF or Word document what we create, what we see generally. So yeah, so like this is the use case. What we have is we have two documents. So according to the business, earlier we implemented something on one print action. So after that, like due to some change in the business, we created one more print action. Like unfortunately, it's a situation like we can't merge the two things. So it's the situation how it was. So we created one more print action and we created the document again. So now the requirement is like the customer doesn't want to see the two print actions, because whatever the change is there for these two documents is not uh, the customer can say. There is a requirement, there is a change in the data for two documents. Everything is regarding the same format. The purchase is same, the discounts are same, everything is same, but the calculation which the change what is there is not user specific. Like, so basing on some calculations, there will be some change, and some content of the document will change. So for that, we won't provide user to user is not aware of that content, which document he should select. So that's the reason what we did is we created two documents, two print actions manually. So like we linked everything, the separate printer friendly XSL view, separate document for the two actions. So we have these on the UI. So what as per the user requirement, what we did is we are hiding these actions. Whenever the user wants to see some document, whenever he wants to generate some document, so instead of these two actions, we are simply showing a button through the HTML. So we discussed about HTML attribute, right? So whatever the HTML related design or content you can add, everything can be done through the help of that HTML attribute. You just need to add that create one HTML attribute as a content. You can set some HTML code to it. Right now in this site, it is having some issue to create a HTML attribute. So what you just need to add some HTML code in it. That's it. So how the general HTML view will be there, it will show as it is. In that, for example, this is the tab. Here you have one attribute. So for example, let's suppose this is a text area attribute. So you'll be having some area allocated to that, right? So similarly, you can mention like you will be allocated some area to that HTML attribute. So whatever the content you add in it, so it will be shown in that area, in that HTML attribute. So what we are doing is, in through that HTML attribute, we created a button. So when we took the help of JavaScript there. So whenever the user clicks that button, so we named it as print action or generate document something. Okay. So user needs to click that action whenever he wants to see some document. So instead of these two actions, we remove this from the UI. So in place of that, here, like wherever the section we want to generate the document, in that section we place that HTML attribute directly. So he won't know that because whatever the HTML attribute we created, we know it, but for him it's simply an action. It's a button.
to generate some document. So with the JavaScript, what we did is, so whatever the data we know that is going to be changed, differ with the two documents. So we are maintaining an attribute. You can assume a drop down menu attribute. So because whatever the change in the project is there, it's logically it will like get triggered. So in the logic, it is the value, it will get triggered. So but here it's the case, it's a different case, right? We don't have that logic, right? So what I'm going to show is, I'll simply create a menu type of attribute. So we can treat that as a flag, like which document we need to trigger. So that basing on that, we can link the JavaScript. So with the help of JavaScript, whenever the user clicks this HTML action, so we are at the back end, we are automatically triggering whichever document we want to show. If it's the requirement is the document one, so we will perform the action through JavaScript, the first print action. Otherwise, we will perform the second print action. For that, let's create attribute quickly. I selected it as menu type of attribute. So we need to give options to it. So which document we need to select. Okay. So let's say quotation one. So instead of this name, so I'll map. I'll tell you why. So here I open the transaction, right? So here what I will do is, I will inspect. I will do inspect element for the action one. So here, if you observe, so there is some ID for this action button. Nothing but a hyperlink. So this ID, I'm taking it. Okay. I'm copying this ID. Why I am taking this ID, you will get to know when I use the JavaScript. Okay. Where is, okay. So I took one ID, right? So I'm pasting that ID here as the variable name. Okay. I'll simply leave it as quotation one only on the UI. So display text is what we see on the UI. This is the value what at the backend it will be stored. So I'm leaving it as this. I'm adding an entry. So this is going to be one option of our menu attribute. Let's create one more option. So I'll make it as the second action's ID. So as it's going to be same. I didn't verify it. You can simply check it here. Hover on the action to inspect element. So here you can see the ID, display quotation 2. That's what I mentioned here. Okay, I gave some label name, I gave some variable name. I'm adding an entry here. So now I'm done with the changes. I'm adding it. Let's quickly add it on the UI.
I'm done with saving. Let's quickly deploy it. Let's refresh the transaction. So now we can see this option here, quotation 1 and quotation 2. So now what I should do is, so we have two actions. User don't want to perform like two actions. We just need one simple action. So whenever I like select the HTML button, so it should basing on the like logic, it should open the respective document. So I have this option like to like tweak the use case. We don't have the logic, right? So I'll take the help of this menu attribute. So when we select quotation 1, and if user performs that that action, so he should be seeing the document 1. If the option is quotation 2, so he should see the second quotation. So that's the use case. So we need to add JavaScript. We need to take the help of JavaScript to do this. So where we can tie the code is, so just click inspect element here. So this is a Firefox what I'm using. So here we have console, right? In the console, so we can try the JavaScript here. So if it's working fine, so we can move our script to the we can add our script into the tool. So let's check whether it's working or not. So in the JavaScript, let's just trigger an alert. So I just added an alert here. So once I add this, so we can see the alert, right? So that it's working. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to trigger the respective print action dynamically. Basing on the logic what we dependent on. So what we need to do is, so as we know that alert is working fine. So when we click this what action, so we are able to see our document, right? I just click quotation 1, print action. So we are able to see the print, quotation 1. So let's do the same thing through JavaScript. So here, the JavaScript, what I'm saying is it's a combination of both the JavaScript and jQuery. So you can use whatever we want. So in the console, what we'll do is, I will write an instruction to click this action. The print action one. We need the ID of that action, right? So if you remember, this is the ID what we copied earlier for the action. And remember one more thing is, whenever we are placing an ID, like these are the you might be knowing these instructions, like whatever we know, like the basic of JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. So those are the instructions we follow here. So to represent an ID, we need to add a prefix of hash, so that it will hold the element of that ID. So nothing but our action. So what I'll do is, I need to give an instruction to perform that action. To click that or print action. So that I'll say click. So I'm done with my instruction. So I'm pressing enter here. I just pressed enter here. So you can see on the code that action got performed, and without we are clicking, so it got triggered, and it is showing the document one. So that means it is taking the JavaScript. Okay, so now we have the instructions. So to perform this action, so we have some script, but this script is there in the console. We need to make sure that it is there in the tool. So whenever the situation arises, it should perform it should execute the script. Okay, that will see further. So that's fine. So we know how to click on action here. So now we need to find out when this action should be triggered. So right now it is blindly triggering, right? So whenever the script is triggered, so it will perform that action, but it shouldn't be that case. So we need to add a condition as well. So what we need to do is we are dependent on this action. I mean, sorry, this value. So if it's a quotation one, we need to click quotation one action. So if it's quotation two, we need to perform print two action. So we should be using this value. This value. So using JavaScript or jQuery, we need to get the value of this attribute. So let's copy this. Let's preserve it in the notepad. So let's do inspect element for this. So if you observe, so here earlier for the action to hold on, so we took the ID of that action, right? Similarly, what we need to do is, so this is one attribute, and for this attribute we are having some value. So if you observe the inspect element, in the inspect element, so we have two sections. One is the whole section of the attribute. One is out of that there will be two sections. One is the label related section. One is the field related section. So if you observe, this is the section what it is for the whole attribute, for the label and for the field value. So if you go down, so you can see this is the label section and this is the field section. So for everything we have IDs, if you observe. So I'm taking the ID of the field. Okay, I'm copying the ID, and if you observe here in this section, this is going to be a like menu option. This is a menu option, right? In HTML we'll be having how we have menu action through the select tag. So in the select tag we will be having option 1, option 2, like that. So we will be having that kind of structure here. So if you observe, so here you can see the select. In that you can see multiple options. So you can see we have multiple options, and one is got selected. Right now the quotation 2 got selected, right? We can see it is a selected value. So basing on this structure, we need to write our query. So let's so this is the ID what we copied from the field of that attribute. And whenever we are dealing with IDs, we need to place a prefix of hash. And similarly, like if you are dealing with class of that tag or element, so you need to place dot period before that ID, I mean that class name. So I will say select, because in this field the next tag is going to be select. We can identify, right? I'm just defining the path of the element. So this is the target element. I want to get its value. So we have a function called val. So now you can see when I click enter after the instruction, so I can see the value. So this value is nothing but the variable name of this option. Whatever the option got selected in the menu, so it will be having a label name and variable name. So when we ask them value, so it will generate the variable name. So that's why
So I added I replicated the variable name of action itself so that I can easily relate. So otherwise we need to add external conditions. If this is a quotation one, so then we need to trigger display quotation one. If it's a quotation two, display quotation two, like that. Our condition gets increased in the JavaScript. So always we should be keep in mind that we should be using as less of JavaScript as we can. So I used the same variable name of the action in the drop down option. So by performing this line, we will get to know which value got selected in the menu attribute. So we can see display quotation 2. So let's change this option here on the UI, and let's perform the same instruction again. So earlier it is display quotation 2, right? Let's perform it. Now the value is display quotation 1. So you can see that. So let's copy this line as well. So we have instruction to click the action whatever we want, and we have the value basing on which logic we need to write. So we got the value which one we need, I mean which action we need to decide. But here there is an action instruction, we defined it statically. So now we need to make this line dynamically, because dependent on this value, this second line instruction value, we need to click the action, respective action. So let's make this action dynamically. So ignore our first line, let's copy it and let's tweak that to make it dynamic. So what we need to do is, here we have something like the static value, the action. So what I'll do is, our action here should be dynamic. Hash is same, it can be any action. Hash is the prefix, right? Because we are using the ID. So I'm leaving the hash as it is. And what I'll do is, here I'll copy this line. So you can see the difference, right? For the line number 1 and for the line number 6, you can see the difference. In the line number 1, we are statically defining the ID of the action, which action it should be performed. But in the line number 6, you can see I'm just using the static prefix of hash to replicate, to represent that it's going to be an ID. And instead of display quotation 1, what I'm doing is the value, I'm using the value of menu attribute. So this menu attribute value will generate, you can see this display quotation 1 or display quotation 2, you can see in the console. Sorry. So that value we are using dynamically in our click action. So now it should perform whenever this action got executed. So this will perform the respective action. Let's try this. So right now it is having quotation 1, right? Sorry, I was on mute. So you can see the quotation 1 here, but we didn't mention. If you observe our instruction, we didn't mention which action we need to perform, because we are using the value of this one. So we tweaked it to be dynamic. So in this value right now it is 1, right? So that's why it opened 1. So before executing this action, let's change it to quotation 2. Let's perform this instruction again. So after writing the JavaScript, I just performed enter in the console. So automatically you can see the action got triggered. It got triggered the print second print action, and it opened the second document. So that's how it's going to be dynamic. So as we are saying, whenever this JavaScript is triggering, so if we place this JavaScript in some location of our CPQ tool, so when we are pressing enter, it's get triggering. That means whenever the JavaScript is loading in the tool, it will get triggered. But when we want this, so whenever user clicks some HTML button, so we need that. So as we don't have any HTML button, right? So let's take a reference of any section on this UI. So what we can take the example is, so let's treat this transaction total. So let's treat this as our HTML button. So what we'll do is, we'll take the div of this label. So we have this label, right? So let's catch some ID. So let's take the div ID of this. I'm taking the ID of this div. This div is nothing but this whole section of this attribute. Okay. So to make sure whether we got the correct ID or not, so we can do a small check like hide. Looks like okay. Let's inspect it. This is the ID. This is the attribute. Yeah. So you can see whenever I triggered that action, you can see that got hidden. So that's how like whether we are accessing the correct element or not. If it's a complex thing, we can use the simple functions to validate our selector is correct or not. I'm reverting it by for like applying one more function. Sure. Okay. So now let's target this div as the like trigger point. So whenever user clicks this div, so then that action should perform. So like you can relate it to a HTML button. So whenever you add some button in the HTML attribute, so whenever user performs it, this action should perform. So for that we are taking a dependency on this div. So what we need to do is, we need to do like when this got triggered, so then we need to trigger our function. So let's take the dependency of that attribute. So let's write it here in the instead of there. So I copied this ID right from there. So I'm using this as the selector. Now what I need to do, so whenever user performs a click on this div, so we need to trigger the respective scenario. So what we'll do is, let's add some function. So when this element got triggered, for this element we are clicking on click action. We are adding some functionality. When this user performs some click on this ID, so we need to give some instructions. So what we'll do is, so here we need to add some function. So like you can add some indentation so that it will be good. So here we need to write our action. So what are action? So whenever user clicks this div, so what we need to do, we need to perform this document. I'm copying this line number 6 and pasting it in the block. So that means earlier, whenever the page got triggered, it automatically triggers the action based on the value which is selected in the drop down. So now it is not like that. So it will do that action, whatever the instruction we gave, only when user clicks this div. Nothing but you can assume as that HTML button. So let's test this. So earlier, if you place the second line only and we press enter, so it automatically perform this action. So now we added the script. So let's press enter. It won't do anything. Yeah, I pressed enter. So our instructions are there. It's doing nothing. But whenever we click this action, I mean this transaction total div, then it should perform this action. So I'm clicking on this div. I just clicked it. You can see there is a loading in the page. It's opening some document. I forgot what value is there. Okay, it opened quotation 2. So if you observe in the drop down, it is quotation 2. So let's close this. Let's change it to quotation 1. And now if you observe, I changed it to quotation 1, right? If I click this div, it shouldn't perform the action because see, I'm clicking on it. I just clicked it. So there is no change in the page loading because the page got refreshed. Right now, we didn't added our script in the tool, right? We just added our script in the console. So once the page got loaded, this console will get refreshed and every logic what we added is will go away. So I'm placing it again. So after changing it to quotation 1, so let's run this action. I mean, let's run this JavaScript again. So now I will press this transaction total div. So you can see the page got, I mean, the print action got performed and it will show the document. It should show document 1. Yeah, we can see the quotation 1. As we placed the script in the console, on every refresh, it's got getting refreshed. So once we are done with the logic, we need to place it in the tool. So where we can add our JavaScript. Open the admin page. So if you scroll down in the utilities section on the right side bottom corner, you can find file manager. Open it. So in the left side folders, you will find something called JavaScript. So open that folder, navigate to that folder and open it. Click on it. So once you click on the JavaScript folder, you will be finding list of JavaScript files here. So you'll have a menu of alphabet order. So just click on C. Why I'm saying C is right now what the change we are doing is at commerce level. So we have a JavaScript files for separate files by default for commerce and configuration. So that those file names will be commerce.js and config.js. So let's click C here. So that will say the file names of C, starting with C. So here you can see commerce.js, similarly config.js. Right now we are adding our content, the changes required on the commerce screen, right? So we can select commerce.js. So if you simply click on that hyperlink, you will see whatever the code is there right now so far. So I clicked it, it opened a new window of present JavaScript code in it. So if you want to be more perfect, right click and view page source. So you can find the exact script here. So this is the script what is existing right now in this JavaScript file, nothing but commerce.js file. So simply close it. So before you modify anything, because these files are dependent on the whole site, so some other people might also be having their changes on this file. So what we need to do is just click on this file, right click on it, view page source, copy everything, every logic, all the logic, paste it in Notepad,
before you modify it, we need to take a backup of it. So if anything goes wrong, we can revert back. We can revert the changes again by uploading a backup file. So I'm saving this file. Sorry guys. So I'm maintaining my folders. So for JavaScript backup, I'll say I'll give date, today's date. Sorry. You should be saving with I mean it doesn't matter how you save it as a name, but whenever you are uploading, make sure as you are replacing the file, you should be giving it same name. I just took a backup. So now I am changing the modifying the file which I need to upload in the site. So if you observe this whole script, so wherever we need to place our script is, you can see a comment here, put all functions of commerce here. So you can, if this comment is not there, you can simply observe like this require function is there, right? Whatever we add in this require function, it will execute. So let's copy our code. I'm placing it in this required function. I just added my part of logic here. So let's save this file. Yeah, I saved my file. So let's go back to the file manager. So we need to modify this file, right? You can see the commerce.js line in this row. You can have you have this replace button. So press it. So browse to which file, so that which file you want to upload. So I'm navigating to my changed file. I mean updated file. Once you are done with upload, on the right side you have this replace file action, right? Press it. Yeah, it's done. So once you are done, just for safety, like just press this update action. So to make sure the changes got preserved in this file. So once we are done with update, so here for the JavaScript or whatever the things you use in the file manager, there won't be any deploy action to perform. There won't be any deployment center. So once we are done with the upload, so it means like the changes are done. So one more thing is whenever we do changes in this file manager, particularly for CSS or JavaScript changes, we need to clear the cache, and then we need to check the changes, because our browser will be having some cache memory, right? So we need to clear that cache, and so that we can surely see the changes what we did through JavaScript. So I just done with the change, so I didn't cleared any cache. So now what I'm doing is as it's already there, I'm just simply refreshing this page. So what is that scenario? We need to let's close this. So we need to trigger the print action automatically basing on this menu action. If it's a quotation 1 or it's quotation 2, we need to perform automatically when the user clicks on this div. Nothing but you can assume like whenever user clicks that HTML button, so it needs to trigger. So I'm performing a click on this. It got applied. So generally sometimes what it will happen is, so whenever you do some changes in the site, it won't reflect here. So that will be because of cache issue. So sometimes if it won't work, just make sure you go to your browser settings and clear the cache and try it again.
And this is the scenario when we develop something and like users will be working on their own testing environments, right? So they may not the people who are testing may not clear cache. So once we inform like the changes are done, so they will say like the things are not working. So we'll say like just try with clearing the cache and try it again. So they will say like it's not every time, it's few cases. So they'll say yeah, after clearing cache it's working or something like that. So that's how. So let me change this option. Let's click this area again, this div. So it should open document 2. Yeah, so that's why you can see doc quotation 2. I'm closing it. So this is how we add JavaScript related changes. If it's related to commerce, so we add it in commerce.js, or if it's in related to configuration part, we'll add in the config.js file. And one more important thing is whenever every time you make any changes, so make sure you have the backup of the current file. So even if you are having a backup of past days, couple of days file, so you may get into issues, because every time you do make changes at that instant only, better to take backup, because someone already might be changing something, right? So this tool will be accessed by a lot of people at the same time. So that's why every time we need to take a backup. So that's how you add JavaScript changes. So as we are saying, our assumption is of a HTML button, so we need the help of CSS also, like to apply some color, to apply some size restriction to that button, or to add some text to it, or anything. So to apply any visual changes, or UI changes, or look changes, so we need the help of we can apply this the same CSS through the JavaScript also, right? We can send the CSS styles through the JavaScript, but to specify the CSS explicitly, so we have that option as well. So as I'm talking about this div, so I want to treat this div as a something. I want to apply some changes if it's a button. So what I need to do, I need to grab the ID of this element or class of this element, as we are dependent on this ID, right? So let's take that element. So we have something called style editor here in the console. Just use whatever the script it suggested by default. That means it will suggest whatever the area of the list of scripts is there in the tool, so which is capable of making changes to the current UI screen. So just stick to the same file. It is just to debug, to test, to make some changes and just to debug. But to add your changes, so I will show you the location somewhere once we are done with some code. So I will navigate it to till the end of the file. So I will apply some changes here. So it's same again here. So if it's a selector, so when we are dependent on some ID, we need to give hash. If it's a class, we need to give dot, like that. So let's add some test script here. We can see this div shell, right? So I'll make it to, I'll just try to hide it. So once I'm done with the script, so you can see it still got, it got hidden. So sometimes even apply your style, if your style is perfect, so it won't get applied to the particular element. Why? Because there is a chance or possibility for that particular element what you are pointing, someone already might define some style to it. So in such cases, what you need to do is you need to, if already some style is existing on that element, to prioritize your style, what you need to do is, along with your style, we have something called exclamation important. So whenever the normal style statement didn't execute it, you just try giving hash, exclamation important. This will prioritize your style if any other style is existing on the same element. This is one thing you can remember. I'm removing it right now as it worked by default. So that's how we can identify whether we are pointing the same element or not. So my requirement is if it's a button, we need to add some color or something like that, right? So I'll say background color as yellow. So I can see the change reflecting here. So it's similar to JavaScript how we did. So once we refresh this page, this console elements will get wiped out. So we just need to copy it. I'm done with copying the thing. I'll place it in Notepad. So that's how we'll apply the style. So we'll check the style. So based on your requirements, you will apply the style. So now let's see where we can, apply these changes in the tool. So for the CSS, we have two areas to specify. So we have something throughout site level area where we can apply our CSS changes. And one more thing is a configuration model based area. So let me show you the first one where we can apply the changes. So if you open the admin page, so in the style and templates section, you will find something called style sheet. Just open it. So here you will find something called this first section, CSS upload or download center. So what you will be having is click to download CSS. This is the default CSS file. Okay, so we have something called alternate CSS file. This above file is by default we will get with the tool, but this alternate file is whatever we upload. If you want to make some additional changes to this site, so we can apply in this alternate style sheet. So if you have any changes on your requirement, so you'll place every changes in a file, make it as .css file, and you can upload that file through this area. You can browse and you can upload your changes, but make sure, so when you are browsing something, so make sure it is empty. There is no file here. If there is some alternate CSS file is existing, that means already someone applied some changes to it. So you shouldn't ignore those changes because they are also dependent on that file, right? Similarly, how you took backup of JavaScript file and added your changes and you uploaded it back again. So similarly, you need to do here also. So click on this hyperlink. It will show you the current CSS file. Okay, I opened it. So to make sure that code is fine, so I'll do view page source. Yeah, I copied the whole content. So I'll take the backup of this. So I'm taking backup of this and done. So let's modify the file. Sorry guys. I scroll down to the file, bottom of the file. Let's add our changes. I just pasted my changes. I'm saving the file. Okay, now I have the new file with already existing changes and my changes. So let's open the style sheet again. In the style and templates, you can see the style sheet. I'm opening it. So we need to add our file in the alternate CSS file. We already took the backup of this file, right? So let's browse it. Navigate to your file. So yeah, uploaded my file. So scroll down. Perform accept here. So I'm done with the adding the changes. So let's navigate to our transaction. So right now it's in the console, right? So that's why it's showing up. So let's refresh it. So after refreshing also, if it's there, that means the changes of CSS got applied. So otherwise we need to clear the cache. So let's refresh the page. So when we are refreshing, it's automatically performing the last action. So I can see the changes still, right? So it means it got saved and it's applying the changes. So if it's a failure case in some situations, so similarly what we discussed for JavaScript, you need to go clear the cache of the browser, so and then try it again. So that's how we will place whatever the CSS changes we have, we will place in the tool in that style sheet section. So as I said, one more area is also there. So where it will be is whatever the changes we apply in the style sheet section. So in this section of this admin page, so it will apply throughout the uh, site. So for example, we took one ID, right? We took one ID. For that, we applied some background color. If there is any element existing with the same ID, it won't happen with the elements or components created by the tool. But if you create some attributes in future, for example, if you're creating an attribute, you can't give a same ID because attribute variable name is independent. But for example, if you are working on some HTML, okay, you have some HTML attributes in your project. So one is to display some table and another one is to display some table. Okay, for the first table, you need some ID dependency and you added some ID in the HTML script. So for the table, ID is table one. For suppose in future, if you want to add one more table and if you place your ID as table one only for both the tables, so whatever the changes you apply to the table one, it will apply for all the tables if you apply some changes in the style sheet. So if the situation what you created is like a product family specific, so let's navigate to the product families. So I'm on admin page. Click on this catalog definition. So this is the level where you can find where you are about to see all the list of product families, right? So above all the list of product families, if you see this drop down, so here you have some options. So not only for the product family or product line or model, above the product families level, that means whatever you create something here, it will apply to all the product families. If you create one attribute here, you can use that attribute in all the product families like that. So at this level, so you can see something called style sheets in the drop down. So click it. So you can see some default style sheet here. So what we need to do is, so someone might not added some style sheets, or let's refresh the page. Looks like no one added any style sheet here. So here there is a default style sheet. What we need to do is we can do a add alternate. So don't do add. So only do add alternate. So that we can add one more like customized file. Okay. So what we need to do is whatever we did. So we took a backup of the whole alternate style sheet of the site and we added our changes and we deployed the changes. Right. So instead of that, so what we need to do is just copy our content, place it in the new notepad file. So save it as your own specific .css file. Let's say like kartik.css or something. Save that file, and by clicking add alternate, you can upload your file here. So just upload it. So once you are done with it, it doesn't mean your changes got applied. Okay. So you just added your own specific alternate style sheet to the site. Okay. That too at the above product families level. Okay. So once you are done with adding, so you have something of some CSS file of yours in the site. Okay. So how you need to apply? Okay. Now open the layout. This is the commerce layout, right? Ignore it. So let's go back to the admin page. Just navigate to your product family and its layout. As we don't have any product family here, right? I'm opening some random product family. Okay. Product family, product line, model. So in the model level, we'll be having some layout. Nothing but our configuration flow. Not sure whether they have a configuration flow here or not. Okay, they have. So I'm opening this configuration flow. So in this layout editor, so you came across two CSS areas. One in the throughout in the style sheet section of admin page, wherever you apply something, so it will apply throughout the page, throughout the site. This is one more area. You opened your product families. At the above product families level, there is some style sheet section. You created your customized CSS file. You added it. So now how to make use of that your own CSS file? So just open your configuration layout. Okay. If you see the layout properties button at the top, click it. So here you will see something called alternate style sheet. So right now there is no file, right? So it's none. So whatever the file you create, okay. So if you create something there, so it will show up in this drop down. Okay. So after creating one file of your own styles, so create that file and you can see that file in this drop down. So you can select it and you can deploy this layout. So that means what it will happen is whatever the CSS styles changes are there in your own file, that will be applied only to this model. I mean only to this configuration layout. So this is how you will apply only configuration, I mean your configuration model related style changes. If you don't want to apply or reflect that to any other product families or any other areas of this tool, so you can simply upload your file and you can map it in your respective configuration layout. So these are the two areas where you can add your CSS styles. One is throughout the site, one is your configuration UI specific styles. The CSS script will be same. Instead of adding your logic in the existing alternate style sheet for the site level, you'll add your own style sheet file and you'll map it in your layout, in your configuration layout. That is only for configuration. You can't make something like process specific. If you deploy something at the site level, it will be applied throughout the site. If you want to apply only product family level, model level changes, style changes, you can apply here in this layout editor. So that's what regarding something regarding the CSS and JavaScript.